What's up everybody, we're back, and in this video we're going to talk about Nintendo domination in China. Will it come? Will it happen? Will it not happen? Does Nintendo have a chance in China to make a huge explosion of sales, taking advantage of the over 1.3 billion population in that country? Now, in case you haven't heard, Nintendo plans on selling the Nintendo Switch bundle with Mario Odyssey on December 1st to launch in China. And obviously this is going to be the first time the Switch is going to be available in China on retail store shelves. I think they've been selling it on the black market or gray market, whatever you want to call it. But China has been an extremely difficult place to sell video game systems for quite a long time. In fact, consoles have been banned since the year 2000 to 2014. And then finally in 2015, the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One were released in China. So they've been available in China on retail store shelves for over 2 years now. So I'm going to read to you from an article back from May 2017 from NicoPartners.com, who did a update on the PlayStation 4 sales in China after 2 years from launch. First of all, they bring out is the price. The PS4 launched at $450 USD, and the Xbox One launched with Kinect for $570 USD in China. With the average monthly salary of the citizen of China being around $700 a month USD, it's no wonder the consoles weren't flying off the shelves. Sony and Microsoft have been aiming to solve this issue with continued price reductions, and now both consoles can be found for less than $350 USD. So price was an issue, and they've had to continue to lower the price as it went on, and it launched at a more expensive price than it did in the United States. And then another issue is strict regulations that impact the growth of these systems. It brings out in the article, China's strict censorship laws means that all games must be approved before sale and must adhere to certain family-friendly policies. This has led to certain games like Halo Master Chief Collection and Final Fantasy XV having to censor minor parts of the game to achieve regulatory approval. These censorship laws rule out many big-ticket releases coming over to China. This has in part led to a poor library for both game consoles, PS4 and Xbox One. And it adds that only 52 PS4 games have been approved for sale since the launch in China in March 2015 to 2017. This pales in comparison to the over 1,000 games available for the PS4 in the West. Core console gamers in China have had to resort to importing titles in order to get their hands on the vast number of games that have not been officially released. Now, moving on to the next challenge that China faces with these game consoles is localization. That the low install base, the strict regulations, and localization costs have turned many away from bringing their games to China. And it brings out that Sony has spent extra money on AAA content in China to appeal to a wide range of gamers, so they've attempted to localize and encourage localization of as many titles as they can. But the vast majority of these games have all come out months and months after, or even years after, their global release dates in China. So apparently to localize a game in China is a lot more expensive than any other country that is currently available to release a game system in. But Sony hasn't given up on the PS4 in China. They have started the initiative called the China Hero Project. The mission of this project is to fund Chinese developers to help them create global blockbuster titles with Chinese influence for launch on PlayStation platforms in China. So far they have 10 games that have been announced in the first wave of these projects. Sony is hoping that the development of these games will not only grow the console market in China but globally as well. So in summary, these are the things that are causing some difficulty in getting consoles going in China. Consoles have been banned since 2014, and they just started being released in 2015, and the costs of these systems are much more expensive in China than what the average person can afford as far as what their monthly salary is concerned. Also, the strict regulations as far as censorship and having games being approved one at a time limits the amount of games that can even be brought over to China. And then of course the localization costs are extremely expensive to get these games localized. So it turns into a long drawn out process and having a very slow trickle effect of games being released in China. And on top of all of this, currently in China in 2017, PC games and mobile games like on your smartphone account for nearly 100% of the market. So less than 1% of game sales are from home consoles such as PlayStation 4 and Xbox One that are already released in the last 2 years in China. So this is the big challenges that Nintendo faces in releasing the Switch in China. Obviously, it's going to have to overcome a lot of these things to be successful, and it's going to be a big gamble on their part whether or not they can break through and be successful with the Switch. Now, when the Switch is released, it's going to have Super Mario Odyssey on it, and obviously this is the big game of the holiday, so we really don't know how it's going to do in China. But if these regulations are anything to go by, it could be a difficult start for Nintendo to get going. And we know there's been a lot of investor speculation and Digitime speculating Nintendo will ship a whole bunch more, and a lot of people are speculating that China will be a huge breakthrough for Nintendo. So these are the things that remains to be seen if Nintendo really can break through all these hurdles and actually get the Switch on store shelves and get people to buy the Switch at a price reasonable enough in the Chinese market. Since the way they price it there in China, it may not be up to Nintendo because of all these extra fees that China has put on these game consoles so far. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you think Nintendo has a great opportunity to sell a lot of Switches in China? Or do you think it's going to be very difficult for them to break through, just like it has been for PS4 and Xbox One? There's always a chance, like they say, and Nintendo likes making money, like any other business. So if there is a way for them to sell a Switch, and you guys have ideas yourself, let me know in the comment section. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Twitter at smetaldave64, and I'll talk to you guys very soon in the next video. Have a great day.